Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the PlayerZone YouTube channel. Welcome to day 7 of our PlayerZone Footmas here. And currently as it stands, this might age barely, but we are going to put together a combined 11 for the top of the table in each of our major 5 European leagues. That means a minimum of 2 per team, and obviously one team gets 3 players represented in this combined 11. Currently, as it stands, as I'm recording this, Atalanta top of Serie A, Barcelona top of La Liga, Liverpool the Premier League, PSG Ligue 1, and Bayern Munich currently top of the Bundesliga. A lot of great sides, a lot of great players, a lot of great attacking talent. So very, very hard to put together a combined 11. I went with the 4-3-3. I didn't want to cheat and do what I normally do and chuck like 4 players up top. I wanted to keep myself accountable and make it a bit of a challenge in this one here. So in the end, I went 3 Liverpool players, 2 from the rest of the clubs. Very difficult, as I said, to get enough players in, enough good quality players, especially defensively. There's a lot of great attacking talent, especially Atalanta. But when you've got some of the sides like Barcelona, Liverpool, and even the likes of the Bayern Munich with some great attacking talent, you have to leave out some superstars to put together this side. So there are some casualties in this side here, but I've gone with a side that I absolutely think is the strongest and the toughest to beat side. But as I said, don't hate me because there's a lot of players missing out of this team here. Starting in goal, and I've gone with someone who's missed a fair chunk, but it's been so important for me and probably the best goalkeeper in the world, Alisson in goal. 8 appearances, 4 clean sheets in all competitions. For me, the best keeper in the world. Continues to be, for me, one of the best 1v1 shot stoppers as well. When you're going through on goal, there's not many in the world I'd rather have than Alisson at this current point in time. Not quite the best goalkeeper with the ball at his feet. That's what Edison's got that mark, but he's basically the second best goalkeeper with the ball at his feet. Probably the best shot stopper in world football, and in clutch moments always makes some big saves, and been part of Liverpool's program now for years on end, and has done a fantastic job through different eras and different iterations. Now under Arne Slot, yes, he's been injured through this recent period, but whenever he comes back into the side, he makes such a difference. Just match-defining saves. So he's in goal for me. Going to left back in the side, the first PSG player, Nuno Mendes, at left back, 3 clean sheets in the 12 appearances. Progressive passes, carries, successful take-ons, all in the top 5% for fullback. So your real attacking modern-day fullback. Does some great work for Portugal as well. He has the 3.17 shot creating actions per game. So purely for me, an attacking fullback. When you look amongst the left backs, Alphonso Davies could have been a good shout, but Nuno Mendes for me, especially considering I have to get some PSG players in this side, was the right option. Someone that can be inconsistent. His best is very, very good. Some of the best in world football, but the drop-off is quite stark. And I think that's where, for him to improve his game, to become one of the top left backs in the world, and maybe get a move to one of those big clubs in Europe, that is, the Real Madrid's, potentially a Premier League club, or even like a Bayern Munich, he's going to be more consistent and be a bit better defensively. That's the shortcomings of him, but had to get some PSG players in here somewhere, and Nuno Mendes was one of them for me at left back. Going to centre-half, would have been much easier if Napoli were still top of Serie A, but I had to go to Atalanta and Berat Jimsiti at centre-half for me. Obviously, Scalvini's a fantastic young talent, but injured and missing through key periods. So went Berat Jimsiti the current point in time. 4 clean sheets from his 12 starts in Serie A. 1.6 interceptions, 2 tackles, 3.2 ball recoveries, and 3 clearances per game. So filling up the stat sheet, not your top-tier centre-back at this current point in time, but a very important figure in that central back 3 for Atalanta, a contributor week in, week out, a solid player. I feel like for me, he's the definition of steady Eddie. Gets the job done, does it at a very high level, probably a 6, 7 out of 10. He's not going to give you an elite level performance like a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 from a centre-half, but does the necessities and keeps Atalanta being a very, very solid side in Champions League football in particular, and a team improving in terms of defensive acumen in the Serie A. So he plays centre-half alongside the Rolls Royce of this side, Virgil van Dijk. 11 clean sheets in all competitions, averages of 2 interceptions, 3 ball recoveries, 5 clearances. And for me, the big stat is his 74% aerial duels won. Doesn't lose much in the air. Back to his best knows of breaking the play up. The 2 interceptions per game shows that a lot of great defensive work is done by the 2 holding midfielders, Alexis McAllister and Ryan Gravenberch. But when the ball goes further forward, Virgil van Dijk's always in the way. Back to his best in terms of his composure on the ball. Probably 3rd or 4th best ball-playing centre-back in world football. Strong in the air, as I said, 74% of aerial duels won. and he's such a figure. I say it a lot when I talk about combined 11s and Virgil van Dijk in different sentences, but he is a presence on that pitch. It's a real feat to go past him. He feels so big. He covers so much ground with how quick he can close down spaces. And since that injury, it's not talking about how quickly he's got back up to speed and looks to probably better or at his best before that really tragic knee injury. So fantastic work from Van Dijk this season, the captain of Liverpool and probably the captain of my side here, playing centre half for this combined 11. Do have to move the magnets around a little bit for this right back. Again, I would have loved if Napoli was still top of the league, but I went Joshua Kimmich at right back for me. Hasn't played much there this season, I know. Been fantastic in holding midfield, so I had to get him into this side at some point. 7.87 average match rating, 11 clean sheets across all competitions, 1 interception, 1.7 tackles per game, 7 ball recoveries per game. Progressive passes is one of the top amongst midfielders and holding midfielders in world football. He's got a real spark in his game. But for me this season, what he's showing is that composure, that consistency. That's what Joshua Kimmich is all about. But he's looked at his best once more in this new Bayern Munich side. Maybe he just needed the new manager to reinvent himself. Again, he wasn't that poor last season, but it looks like he's back to his best. Back to being that commander in the centre of the park. And back to bossing teams around in their very physical presence, really protecting that back line, who at times can be very vulnerable. Kim Min-jae alongside Dale Upamecano are not your most consistent centre-halves. Last season were some of the most underperforming centre-halves, but they've been made to look $1 million this season because Joshua Kimmich and Leon Goretzka, Pavlovic protected that back four very, very well. So Joshua Kimmich had to be in that back four for me. Despite not being in the holding midfield spot, I had to just slip him in at right back because he's been an outstanding player and one of the more appreciated players, not talked about much this season, his performances, but has been very, very pivotal for Vincent Kompany's Bayern Munich. So he goes in at right back for me. Meaning we come to our two midfielders, the central midfielders. Ederson's the top one for me, 7.23 average match rating, 2 goals and an assist so far in his 15 league games played. Contributed to the 5 clean sheets as well. He wins 5 duels per game, 5.2 ball recoveries, 86% pass accuracy in the opposition half. More of your proper number 8 in many regards. People see him at times as number 6, but with Martin de Roon next to him, he allows that license to push on and create and be that link between the midfield and that dangerous front three for Atalanta. Again, when he's in the side and playing at his best, that's when Atalanta look at their best in terms of keeping sides penned in. He wins the ball back quickly, transitions the ball forward a lot, and can catch teams out in terms of his ability to drive into a space and play a pass to separate defences. His big chance created aren't that high at this current point of time this season, but I expect that to increase as Atalanta go and dominate more games of football and potentially go and make a run for the Serie A. I think he is so pivotal alongside Martin de Roon as a versatile duo, and it packs a punch in many regards. The more cool, calm, collected de Roon and the more aggressive, progressive player in Ederson in the midfield as well. I think he's been better and better as the years have gone on and looks like a fabulous player that will be a key figure to the Atalanta side this season. I've got him playing alongside my second PSG player, Jean Neves in there. 7.7 average match rating, 2 goals, 6 assists in 13 league appearances, 3.2 tackles per game, 5 ball recoveries, and wins 6 duels per game as well. Top 5% for tackles, successful take-ons, and progressive passes as well. He's a real dynamite in there, just an energizer bunny. Gets in, gets the tackles won, gets the ball progressing forward. Again, probably his best work is done at the number 8, but in this team he'd probably sit him as a number 6. Again, plays so much older than he actually is. Such a young player making that big move from Benfica to PSG over the summer. A big transfer fee, but he's absolutely lived up to that. And as you can see by the stats, 2 goals, 6 assists. He's got the attacking football in his game, but also with the way he wins his 6 duels per game, he's into the tackles with 3.2 tackles per game. 5 ball recoveries as well. He does a great job sweeping up defensively as well. And in a side that's very, very young, he looks like a bit of a leader on that pitch for PSG. So a fantastic job winning the ball back, being that two-way runner, I often say. I say a lot in basketball, two-way players. You can see in football as well, especially in the modern-day midfield, you have to be a two-way runner. He does the defensive work and then progresses the ball moving forward for PSG as well. So he is the second central midfielder for me. In the number 10, I've gone and put Rafinha, probably the player of the year to this current point in time. 8.09 average match rating, 16 goals, 8 assists in 21 games in all competitions. Top 1% for goals and assists per game, and top 1% for XG and XA per 90 minutes. So expected goals and expected assists is high. He's converting on them. His differentials between goals scored and expected goals is one of the top 1% in world football as well. He's converting his chance. He's not missing opportunities. And 16 goals, 8 assists. He's constantly involved in some way, shape or form. Taking the captain's armband at Barcelona as well. It's the intangibles on the pitch, that leadership, and the ability to be constantly involved in the game. Rafinha is a player in the past would fade in and out of games, show you moments of brilliance, but then drop out of the game and not be involved through longer periods of time and longer stints. But in this current system of the Hansi Flick, he's all over the park, covering every blade of grass, either playing on the right, cutting inside, using that left foot, or playing in the number 10 and dropping into spaces, operating those tight areas, linking up with the likes of Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, but also getting on the end of balls from Lamine Yamal and Lewandowski and being that goal scorer, which is something we saw through periods at Leeds United, but haven't seen it for a long time. And it just reignited him this season. He's truly been probably the greatest turnaround in terms of where he was last year to where he is this year. The confidence there, the flair's there, and right now it's unstoppable in world football. So he sits at number 10 for me, and he's absolutely deserving all the props he's got this season because that turnaround he's made, the confidence he's playing with is second to none at this current point in time. So he's in the side at the number 10. Moving to the left winger, Jamal Musiala, again, bit of a cop-out, can probably play him at the 10, but has played at times of his career and this season on the left-hand side there. 7.86 average match rating, 10 goals and 3 assists in all competitions. Top 5% in successful take-ons, touches in the box, pass completion rate, wins 7 duels and over 3 successful dribbles per game. So, again, another player who's a leader, plays above his age. Such a young player with so many tools and so many avenues to beating opposition teams, whether it be dribbles in tight areas, whether it be a shot from outside the box, setting up a teammate as well. He truly is that proper end product player that doesn't misplace passes, doesn't make mistakes. He's constantly involved and constantly a threat, and that's why he has to be in this combined 11 for me. Bayern have at times this season been a bit flat and looked a bit off, but Jamal Musiala is there to pull them over the line, whether he's starting the game in the number 10 or drifting out wide or supporting the striker as a second striker. He's got so many different avenues to hurting an opposition, and that's why this, as such a young player, it's such a talent and such a superstar that Bayern Munich got in their hands there because he can impact games in so many different ways. Probably the best dribbler in world football at this current point in time. When the ball's at his feet, you can't dislodge it. We saw against Borussia Dortmund most recently, the Klassiker. He was constantly involved, but it was his dribbling in and out of tight spaces, creating chances for himself and for others with his dribbling, with the ball just magnetised to his foot there. So he's off the left for me. Down the middle is Robert Lewandowski. Speaks for itself again. Harry Kane's very stiff to miss out on this side here, but he has been so good this season. Simply the turnaround again. Did score a lot of goals last season for FC Barcelona, but for me was way off his best. But this season, you've already seen the difference. 22 goals, 2 assists in all competitions. 1.08 goals per 90 minutes. He's averaging more than a goal per game at this current point in time. Is the proper number 9 in terms of gets on any balls into the box from Rafinha, Casado, Pedri, Gavi, Lamine Yamal, and just finishes it off. His pressing work's been much better this season. He looks a man reignited with confidence, belief in himself, and belief in the manager under Hansi Flick, and is operating at such a higher level. It's really quite strange to see a mini drop-off. We thought maybe Lewandowski was past his best. Then you come back this season, he looks like a man just re-energized. Back to his best. Looks like a 29-year-old, 28-year-old, the way he's pressing, the way he's constantly in the end of balls into the box, a presence in the box, a dangerous figure all over the park, past 100 goals in the Champions League most recently as well. It looks like he's got another 2 or 3 more good years in him, the way he's playing his foot at this current point in time. So he leads the line for me. And then probably the best player of the year, Mohamed Salah at right wing for me. 7.94 average match rating, 13 goals, 8 assists in 14 Premier League appearances. Top 1% in all the attacking stats, carries, receives into the box, XA, XG, outperforming his XA and XG well and truly. He is that guy at this current point in time. And again, he's a player, though, that fades in and out of games. He can not touch the ball for 15, 20 minutes, but when he does touch the ball, it'll be 1, 2 touches and then find the back of the net, setting up his teammates like Darwin Núñez, Cody Gakpo. He has been so pivotal to Liverpool's turnaround this season in terms of a fresh start to Arne Slot, the pressure around the club, the potential for a drop-off. But Mohamed Salah's lifted everyone in this team up, performed at such a high level that the team is flying in all competitions, top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, only managing 1 loss since Arne Slot's taken over. They've been near perfect in all competitions, and it's on the back of great attacking football led by Mohamed Salah. I think right now, if the Ballon d'Or is given out tomorrow, it's given to Mohamed Salah for his consistent efforts. And again, it's so funny because he does miss some chances, he does fade out of games, but his best is the best in the world. It's simply that. And the 2 finishes versus Newcastle United, most recently in the Premier League, they needed those goals. He puts him in front with 2 great finishes. Again, when Liverpool were really, really poor first half, where he was lacking involvement, doesn't get much of the football, but when he does get a touch, those touches are golden. So Mohamed Salah is the right winger for this top of the table combined 11. It's a very strong side. Again, you're missing a lot of great players in this side as well. You know, the likes of Pau Cubarsí, Inigo Martinez for Barcelona, they're not featuring at centre-half. You're missing players like Harry Kane in this side as well. You're missing players like Ryan Gravenberch in this side. So so many great names are missing, but there's so many great names that are playing. Even all 3 Atalanta forwards, Ademola Lookman, Charles de Ketelaere as well. All these talented players up top. Retegui as well for Atalanta. We're missing a lot of them, but to get all these great players into 1-11 and to make it evenly spread is so, so difficult. The final 11 for the top of the table combined 11 side is Alisson in goal, Nuno Mendes at left back, Berat Jimcity alongside Virgil van Dijk at centre half, Joshua Kimmich at right back, Ederson, Janeve in midfield, Rafinha at the 10, Jamal Musiala at left wing, Robert Lewandowski down the middle, and Mohamed Salah at right wing. Top side, top teams in all competitions. You know, we might look back at this video in a few months' time and see none of these teams on top of their ladder. But I think, especially with Bayern Munich, especially with PSG, with the league they're in, even potentially with Liverpool, with the football they've played this season, they could all be top of their respective leagues. But Atalanta got their job cut out for them. Same do Barcelona, with a lot of teams competing with them as well. And obviously Liverpool with City and Arsenal, one of the best teams in world football. It's going to be a tough task to keep a hold of top spot in those leagues, respectively. With that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Who would you put in? Who would you sub out? Again, try and keep the 2 players minimum per side, meaning each side has to have 2 representatives. One side gets 3 representatives. I'd love to see your respective teams in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please sort of smash a like on it, subscribe to the PlayerZone channel for more videos like these, and press that post notification bell so you know we upload podcasts and videos here on the channel. With that being said, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the upcoming football action, and I'll see you guys in the video very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.